Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, All-Pro, record-breaking cornerback, and the last cornerback to intercept 50 interceptions during the 10-game season era. Say What Needs to Be Said, Monday Night Vibes, man. Welcome back to the show, man. If y'all didn't know or didn't see, Coach Prime was the last guest on the show, man, and it was lit. You know what I mean? If y'all didn't see the episode, go check that out. But in the meantime, I hope y'all see the progress, man. I really hope y'all see the progress from your boy. You know, how far your boy has come. I started in this media space with no media training, no backing, or any of that stuff. Just the will to figure things out and not give up. You feel me? For y'all, because y'all need to hear the truth. After making an appearance on I Am Athlete, I knew I wanted to be in this space. Yeah. And I'm not the one to be procrastinating. I'm the type that'll jump right out the head first and figure it out along the way. You know what I mean? So I love the journey. I love this journey. It's been fun. It's been fun for sure. Now, y'all, let's get this channel to 100K subscribers and 100K listeners on the podcast. And all eyes will always be on Say What Needs to Be Said. Hey, and y'all clap it up for me. I tried to get the T for y'all. I tried to get the T. Coach Prime said, hey, Verizon, baby, bad connection, man. Shout out to Coach Prime. We always having fun and having a good time when he come on the show. But let me bring on my co-host for the night. You know what I mean? 2-3 Drees in the building.
What's up? Man, listen, I'm doing great. And it's only the beginning. I know you was mentioning we gotta get to 100K listeners, 100K subscribers. It's only the beginning. This football season about to go crazy. Trust me.
Yes. Yeah, so man, we got a lot to unpack tonight, man. We got a lot to talk about. We are going to talk about Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and the leadership in Miami for the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins. What is happening to the leadership in Miami? We're going to talk about Shedeur Sanders and him being fourth on the depth chart and them bringing in another quarterback. And what do I think about this whole situation? Yes, you know, Mr. Pick Six and 2-3 Drees, we're going to break it down and we're going to give you the whole rundown and how it needs to be said. And then we have to talk about Lamar Jackson. Is Lamar Jackson the greatest all-around quarterback in the history of the NFL? Stephen A. Smith thinks so. Stephen A. Smith seems to think so. So we're going to talk about that. And we have to talk about Shannon Sharpe. Were we misled? Did he mislead us? You know what I mean? So let's get into it, man. Clap it up, Monday Night Vibes. Let's have some fun. Hey, I like the critique. I like the criticism. You know, they tell me to stop rocking back and forth and things like that. But that's why I got the music on in the beginning of the intro, because I like to bring that energy. So I'm going to listen. I'm going to take heed to these comments and the criticism, and we're going to continue to grow and get better, baby. Say what needs to be said. So let's jump into it. Real quick, first things first, Tyreek Hill responds to Tua Tagovailoa, calls Dolphins quarterback comments needed, right? Calls Dolphins comments needed. You know, and as soon as I started to speak highly of the Dolphins, they take 10 steps backwards, man.
Oh, man.
They take 10 steps backwards. Soon as I start to praise the Dolphins. You know, I stated I like what I was hearing from Tua after he addressed Tyreek about his comments last season. Prior to me praising the Dolphins, I called the Dolphins out for a lack of leadership, starting with the head coach and the general manager, Mike McDaniels and Chris Greer, right? It's obvious. It was obvious to me listening to players make comments about the coaching staff that Mike McDaniel doesn't run a tight ship, right? That was obvious to me. As the head coach of the team, it is a must. You make players follow the rules implemented for the team's success. That is a must. Discipline. For example, be on time to all the meetings, the little things. Follow the dress code. Get treatment when necessary and be on time to treatment. You know what I mean?
Right.
End of the day, ultimately have respect for your peers and your coaches, teammates, whoever you're dealing with in the building. And if one player is disobedient to these rules, he can become a cancer to the team. And it seems like Tyreek Hill wants the Dolphins to follow his rules, not he follow their rules. And his number one rule is make sure he gets the ball. And if he doesn't, watch out, man. He coming with them Antonio type vibes, man. Totally embarrassing moments I can see coming in the future. How do you feel about Tyreek Hill?
I mean, did you hear the comments he said about 3rd and short or 4th and short?
Yes, we're absolutely about to get into this. This is the topic of discussion tonight in this segment. Yeah, because man. I praised them. I thought everything was heading into the right direction just to get stabbed in the back, you know? And Tyreek Hill, man, to me, he is becoming a menace to the team, to his team. And he doesn't even realize it.
Just think about it, right?
Realize it. Huh?
You just think about it, right? Say if one of your teammates said, "Hey, listen, what you gotta do to be better on 3rd down? Oh, all we gotta do is take Asante out. We be good." Like, how would that make you feel as your team to say that about you?
Exactly. That's disrespectful. It's out of line. It's out of bounds, and it's unnecessary. It shows a lack of respect for your teammates, your coaches, and whoever else. I think it's all about Tyreek Hill's ego. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, but after me praising Tyreek Hill and Tua, you know, Tua being the leader of the team and showing up and speaking out when necessary. Like I said, the bully just needs someone to stand up to him. That's what Tua Tagovailoa did. And Tyreek submitted immediately. But it didn't take long for Tyreek to take 2 steps backwards. You know, after making this comment saying, he needed that from Tyreek Hill. Just after he said he needed that from from Tua Tagovailoa, sorry. Just after saying he needed that from Tua Tagovailoa, he takes 2 steps back. Unbelievable. And like I say, man, if y'all don't see this Antonio Brown vibes coming from Tyreek Hill, y'all are just caught up in him being an absolutely wonderful, fast player, you know? And I'm not talking about, like I said, just being a good player. I'm talking about the vibe off the field as well as on the field.
Right.
Now, here we go. What we all been waiting for. Tyreek Hill was asked about the problems with short yardage from last season. And if he had any recommendations to fix the problem. And his response was,
going out on 3rd down. What?
Let me start it over.
Take the run out on 3rd down. What? You want to? That's my honest opinion. If it's 3rd and short, he's not a power back. I be telling him that in the locker room, but he a power back. I love the run though, but if I'm being honest, like that's why you got Jalen Wright. That's why you got Ollie Gordon for those kind of situations.
Come on, man. You can't be sad.
Who does he think he is? He thinks he's the coach on the podium. He is very passionate about what he is saying, like he understands what it exactly needs to be done. These comments by Tyreek Hill shows a lack of respect for his coaches and teammates, especially the ones playing running back. Like I said, at the same time, his comments come off as Tyreek knows what's best for the team, as he is the coach on the podium making decisions. It's one thing to have a private conversation with the coach and voice your opinion, but to call the head coach out to the media as if he doesn't know what he is doing is just straight barnacles. And they haven't even played one single game yet this season. Tyreek Hill is going to be a problem this season. Y'all mark my word. Tyreek Hill is going to be a problem.
Even with he said, yeah, I tell him that all the time in the locker room. Even if you tell him that in the locker room, you don't come out and tell everybody else. That's between y'all inside. I mean, y'all can probably joke about it or talk about it like, man, I'll run you over or something like that. You know, you get your behind the door trash talk, but don't come out here and tell the media, but like, oh, for us to be better, we need to take him out. That's what you're basically saying. Like,
y'all heard me in the past when I voiced my displeasures about Donovan McNabb and how he practiced and so on and so forth. I didn't go to the media. I didn't call him out in the media. I went straight to the coach and tried to figure out a solution. If you're going to the media, you're just trying to cause problems and you want things to go viral. But hey, we're not done yet. This is just the beginning of it. This is just the beginning of it. Because the head coach, Mike McDaniel, responds to Tyreek. He actually responds to Tyreek, explaining himself like a little brother, or because this is a sensitive topic and he wants his bosses to know he is vehemently working on a better situation in the short yardage for his team. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's something going on because he responded as if this is a very sensitive topic. Like he had to defend himself. And this is exactly what I mean by the leadership in Miami for the Dolphins. I have to take back my praise. I have to take back my praise after seeing all of this going on. Listen to the head coach, Mike McDaniels. This is the head coach. This is not the offensive coordinator. This is not the defensive coordinator. This is not the trainer. This is the head ninja in charge. Respond to his athlete.
I thought it was genius reporting by Tyreek, seeing how we had a short yardage period that very day that you guys were in attendance for, and his suggestion was, I guess, congruent with Coach Stutesville. That's exactly how we repped the backs in that short yardage period that very day. But we thought it was funny that he reported the news that wasn't news on that practice day in that short yardage period that you guys were all there too for.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
He trying to downplay the situation. Like, y'all already know he's going to say that because y'all was there for it. Y'all saw it. No, you don't call out your teammate. That's the bigger problem. You calling out your teammate out there. Like, listen, if you're not in the game, we could do better. That's how I take it.
That's the first problem I had. If I was the running back, A-Chain, whoever it was, sorry, I pronounced his name wrong, but whoever he called out, I would be the first person to confront Tyreek Hill. Man, bro, why you saying I can't do X, Y, and Z, bro? Don't say what I can't and cannot do, bro. That's up to me and the good Lord to decide. How are you putting a box or a stoppage around my capabilities, bro? Like, you know, you're making me look bad to the offensive coordinator, the fans, so on and so forth. Keep your mouth shut when it comes to me, homeboy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, Mike McDaniels decided to handle this back and forth with Tyreek. Shows the Dolphins' personality. And it's led by the head coach, Mike McDaniels. Their head coach doesn't come off as the alpha male in the room at all. He doesn't come off as the alpha male. McDaniels isn't making anything better by addressing Tyreek Hill publicly. Probably only his ego. That's it. Probably only his ego. Mike McDaniels, let me tell you, as a head coach, I'd probably be a head coach one day after this speech. This is very simple, right? This is very simple.
Let's hear it.
Mike McDaniels should have simply stated, I am highly disappointed in Tyreek Hill comments. I've heard Tyreek Hill comments, and I will deal with him in person. Simple as that. It's very simple. It's very simple.
That sounds a little bit familiar. That sounds like
you put all the drama at a halt, everything is stopped. But no. What does the head coach of the Miami Dolphins do? Explain himself that they are working on the problem as if Tyreek didn't see what was going on in practice. This is just unbelievable, man. You know, I guess it's all left up to Tua, man, to be the leader and make things right and hold everybody accountable in Miami for the Miami Dolphins, because if Tua doesn't do it, who will make the players follow the rules? That you're supposed to abide by the hope that we're going to be a great team. Mike McDaniels isn't. The words and the things that we hear coming out of Dolphins camp, they don't even attend meetings on time.
Yeah, another thing, Tyreek Hill said he ain't know to understand the players for the first 3 years.
Exactly. It's like a lack of respect from the players. I'm sure the trainers, the head coach, the general manager. This guy got his check and he feel like he doesn't need anybody. He's above everyone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's well understood that Mike McDaniels, man, he's holding these players accountable, and it's just about discipline. Discipline. Discipline is how you win those close games, against good teams. You need that discipline, and then it all starts when you walk in the building. The little things, being nice to the people that feed you, to the trainers, equipment managers, so on and so forth, doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? But does Tua trust Tyreek? Does Tua feel he could depend on Tyreek for 17 weeks? If things aren't going Tyreek's way, can he remain humble and play his role? Because it's hard for skilled players on offense to swallow their egos when they aren't the number one guy anymore. Example, last season. Last season wasn't explosive as the 2023 season. Last season, Miami Dolphins offense switched to a more of control the ball offense. And maybe the new system didn't make Tyreek the go-to guy, which ultimately led to Tyreek giving a little pushback, So it's two things that will get receivers upset. You know what those two things are, Dries?
Not getting the ball.
And what else?
What's that? What's the second thing?
Very simple. Come on. Follow it. Follow the
not getting their stats. I mean, that's part of not getting the ball.
Yeah, follow the money.
the money.
And we know who pays, so the contract isn't the issue. It's always going to be 9 times out of 10 getting the ball because the money is an issue.
And right now, just like you said, they ain't play a snap yet, and you already calling out players. Imagine going on a 3-game losing streak.
Oh, exactly. That's exactly when Tyreek Hill will not be able to hold himself back. I'm predicting that now. There's going to be some adversity during the season because it happens for everybody. And watch the Antonio Brown vibes come out. You know what I mean? But I like to have fun on the show. So if y'all been following the show and y'all understand, I've been criticizing Tua Tagovailoa in the past by giving him the name Mr. 1, 2, 3. That's what I like to call him. Fun. I call it fun criticism. But don't get it twisted now. Mike McDaniels' system of a quick rhythm timing routes is a great system for Tua. Tua just needs those situational moments to go his way along with good defense. And the Dolphins will be all right. They just have to figure out, of course, how to stop Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. That's it. That's all. That's it. And they'll be all right, That's it. Very simple.
That little laugh at the end. I don't know if you believe that.
Yeah, very simple. Very simple. Just got to beat Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills, But, we're going to get into we're going to skip over one of the segments and we're going to go right to the Shedeur Sanders topic because I can't hold back and I can't wait that much longer. You understand what I'm saying? But the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders. It's all about Shedeur Sanders. And then you got Flacco, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel. But it's all about Shedeur Sanders because we believe and we know. But not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. The Browns have signed another quarterback. Can you believe this mess? Browns signed Tyler Huntley strictly as depth move with Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett hurt. All right. Yeah. Okay. Just when we thought the quarterback situation in Cleveland couldn't bring us any new surprises or get any weirder. Boom. Take that, boy. Y'all take that. Shedeur goes 9 for 9, 2 touchdowns. Boom, we're going to sign another quarterback. You know what I mean?
Just like that.
You know, they say they signed Huntley, to add depth to the quarterback position, which probably is realistic. I'm not going to be too hard on the Browns. It is realistic. But there's a lot of other situations that has transpired that has me shaking my head and a little uncomfortable, But I know one thing. If Tyler Huntley is taking reps immediately with the ones or twos and Shedeur reps are being decreased, we have a problem on our hands. We have a major issue on our hands. Everything I preached about Dylan Gabriel is showing to be absolutely true. From the height being an issue, being able to see over the line, to being a system quarterback in Oregon as a Oregon Duck.
Mm-hmm.
And that offense not preparing him for the next level, which is the NFL. Flacco isn't going to play much Friday. They play Friday, and Flacco isn't going to play much, if any. Kenny Pickett, same thing. I don't see him playing much, although they wanted him to play and be the superstar because, like I said, he is the X factor to be traded. Kenny Pickett is limited due to a hamstring injury. So the situation is a little froggy right there. So at the end of the day, comes Friday, it should be the Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel show. Come Friday, it should be the Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel show. But I'm just telling y'all, when Gabriel has to play on the NFL level in game form, he will have a lot of responsibilities that will become too much for him to handle, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the other deficiencies at quarterback like we speak about. But it will be interesting to see how the Browns play each quarterback this coming Friday. And all eyes will be on Cleveland. How do you see this situation playing out? Coming this Friday, they have 4 quarterbacks on the roster, and they just signed Tyler Huntley, who is a veteran quarterback. What are they going to do with these quarterbacks?
Listen, I think the Browns going to have the most watched preseason games because everybody going to be tuned in to see exactly what you're saying, like how they going to handle this quarterback situation. And a lot of people want to see Shedeur play, even the Browns fans. I feel like a lot of the Browns fans, they want Shedeur to be that number 1 quarterback, even that number 2 quarterback getting the most reps. So, hey, I mean, he got that personality, he got the play, he got the swag, he got all that, man. I just feel like he should get that fair chance, be able to go out there and prove himself. Don't put him out there with the people
he should get his fair chance, but are they going to give him his fair chance? This is not about what they should do.
I don't know.
Are they going to give him his fair chance? I don't know.
Especially with signing a quarterback today is like, come on, you already got enough quarterbacks on the roster already, man. You don't need to add no more. I don't care about the people that's been injured and all that stuff, man. They need to get their reps. We got the count. We got to count how many people actually attempts that they have and all that stuff. And I mean, I feel like Shedeur is. I don't feel like we know for a fact that he hasn't been getting as many reps as everybody else. So, like, quarterbacks going down should up his reps so we can see more of what Shedeur should do, and not add another quarterback to take more reps away. So that's like kind of confusing. Like, I saw a comment on the side saying the Browns are browning. I mean, we see make a lot of mistakes before, and I feel like they go to a year from now, 2 years from now, they could be like, what did
man, they've been going through quarterbacks for the past 10 years, man. I mean, there have been a ton of quarterbacks from Ken Dorsey to Joe Flacco. I mean, there's been quarterbacks left and right, and nobody has been producing at the quarterback position for the Browns. It's Deshaun Watson was their bread and butter. Like the owner said, Jimmy Haslam said, they swung and missed. So now the owner, Jimmy Haslam, finally came forward to address who was responsible for drafting Shedeur Sanders. Now, this is important because I need everyone to understand what this is really about. Jimmy Haslam has finally come forward to address who was responsible for drafting Shedeur Sanders. Now, instantly, when I seen this clip or seen this video reel, my instincts tell me Jimmy Haslam broke the code between the owners by stepping up to the plate and drafting Shedeur Sanders. That's exactly what happened, in my opinion. The owner for the Browns broke the code and drafted Shedeur Sanders when he was not supposed to. because the Haslam family was so intrigued by Shedeur Sanders' aura, along with the attention Shedeur comes with, and of course his abilities. Jimmy Haslam couldn't help himself but break that code. Drafting Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel didn't and doesn't make sense. We know Shedeur is a first-round talent. There is no doubt about that. Shedeur is a first-round talent. For Shedeur to have made it to the 5th round makes it obvious something was going on behind the scenes concerning Shedeur in this draft process. I think 32 teams were attending to not draft Shedeur Sanders and make him go as an undrafted free agent. That is so sad. I really believe that until the Browns and Jimmy Haslam stepped up to the plate, right? Because of this exact reason, they tried their best to hold him back. But once he gets his chance and do things like go 9 for 9 and 2 touchdowns, 32 teams, scouting department, will look like they don't have a clue about talent. If 5 quarterbacks deserve to get drafted in front of Shedeur Sanders. You see what this is all about? If Shedeur Sanders is a 5th round pick and all these quarterbacks get drafted before him, and Shedeur goes out there and shines and looks like the 1st round talent that he is. Now, everyone looks terrible. The scouting department, the teams, the general manager, because this is a blatant mistake, right? Because if he outplays everyone, the scouts look bad because they gave Shedeur this horrible grade when everyone knows in America that he shouldn't have got that, whatever grade they was giving him. You know, we don't know what the grade, you know? Right. It's all supposed to make sense, man, and it's not. It's all supposed to make sense, and it's not. Nothing is right about Shedeur's situation besides giving him a fair opportunity to show what he can do. That's what we're hoping for. And that's still to be determined. That's the best thing Shedeur has going for him as the quarterback right now, is a fair chance, man. Everything that transpired in the draft process was intentional by the NFL teams. Check this out.
If you'd have told me, so you picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Just like who's going to start our conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
And you obviously.
Who called it? Who called that was? Who called it? He said that was the draft Shedeur?
Andrew Berry.
Huh? Say it one more time.
Andrew Berry.
Ooh, boy. Let me tell y'all about this, right? Saying Andrew Berry is responsible for selecting Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round of that draft. That is a bad look for Andrew Berry as the general manager. Jimmy Haslam saying Andrew Berry is responsible for selecting Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 NFL draft is a horrible look as the general manager for the Cleveland Browns. Why in the world would the general manager select a 3rd round quarterback and a 5th round quarterback to make 5 quarterbacks on the team? And none of them are supposed to be the franchise quarterback. Deshaun Watson will be back someday. He has to come back. He has to fit into the equation somewhere. They're going to try to see what Deshaun Watson still can do. They're still paying him millions and millions of dollars.
Lots of money.
You know, drafting one quarterback who the Browns had high on the draft board was good enough. And for some reason, it just wasn't Shedeur Sanders. For some reason. It was Dylan Gabriel, I guess. You know, and which I believe was the plan until Jimmy Haslam made an executive decision to step in and tell Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, that it's time to take Shedeur Sanders. And he broke the code, he broke the code. But it's so obvious and bad, man. Even John Madden, the game Madden knows what's up with Shedeur. I'm not saying Madden is always right, but in this situation, Madden understands what is going on here. The 5th round quarterback gets the nod for the best overall rating out of Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders has a better overall rating than Dillon Gabriel. Even Madden know what's up, man. Talk to me, Drees.
That's Ocho. Ocho already making the Madden ratings. So he know game, man. He out here knowing that Shedeur should be over Dillon Gabriel, just like the rest of the world. But
yeah,
listen, man, we did. That's why I feel like the Browns preseason game gonna be the most watched games. Everybody gonna be tuned in.
Of course, man. Absolutely, man.
I can't wait to watch it out myself. So
tune in Friday. We're gonna be locked in, and hey, we coming right on after the show. We're gonna talk about schedules and things like that, but we gonna hop on and have a good time. You going anywhere? You got any plans this weekend, Drees?
I do.
Okay, we'll talk for sure.
Yeah, we gonna have time. We're gonna make time for it.
Yeah. But at the same time, man, Shedeur Sanders was held out of practice because of alleged soreness in his arm. And I've seen situations like this. This is how I'm so experienced in talking about it. That's why I said someone will end up on injured reserve, and not because they injured, right? And this is some funny business going on with the Browns holding Shedeur out, right? Saying his arm was sore. Because it's funny. All of a sudden, Kenny Pickett is back taking reps, and Shedeur Sanders needs a rest. Now, all of a sudden, they sign another quarterback. Browns are all over the place, man. First, they had Shedeur Sanders throwing the equipment managers, and now another quarterback.
Yeah.
And if y'all haven't heard, it's starting already. The chants are starting. I said they don't want the stadium to start chanting, "We want Shedeur." The chants are starting already at the Cleveland Browns training camp. They're already starting to chant. I heard they are chanting, "Put Shedeur in, put Shedeur in." And that was the day they held him out of practice because of an alleged sore arm. We haven't heard Shedeur confirm that. Shedeur will obviously confirm that because he doesn't want no problem. He's going to have to go along with the program until, he shows them what's up, and they can't hold him back,
Yeah,
right. At the end of the day, they don't want the entire stadium, like I said, saying, "We want Shedeur, we want Shedeur."
So will he be traded?
It would be horrible, huh?
Did you change your mind about him being traded yet, or no?
Shedeur?
Yeah.
I just I would hate for him to go from one bad situation to another situation, because you just don't know who has ill will and bad feelings towards the family and the pops and stuff like that. So I think this situation is pretty good. It's a unique situation. I think he has the opportunity to proceed and win that battle. Being that Flacco is older, he doesn't, he isn't into playing football. Kenny Pickett, I don't think he has what it takes, along with Dillon Gabriel. So Shedeur Sanders, I see the sky's the limit for Shedeur Sanders. The problem is showing these general managers and scouts up by playing him, and everyone looking bad by letting him get to the 5th round. That is a huge problem. You have to understand this is a job for these scouts, and these scouts have to do the job. And the job isn't done right. Hey, that's how I go. But here's the funny business. Browns rookie Dillon Gabriel gets promotion in quarterback competition. This is the crap I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about. Did anyone see any clips from practice or hear that such news is warranted to Dillon Gabriel that he should be getting a promotion because he was absolutely a stud out there at training camp? Did anyone, please? Because if I'm missing something, I do not want to sound crazy. You know what I mean?
You know what I saw about him at practice? I mean, at training camp, he threw the most interceptions. That's what I saw.
Exactly.
I
said someone will end up on injured reserve, but not Shedeur, of course, and not because of injury. I already said that. So, to make sure Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett get quality reps, this is what to expect, what we have to expect, right? They have to play these games with Shedeur. Shedeur is looking so great out there. He's making the scouts look horrible by saying he's a 5th-round pick. But guess what, man? The nation of Shedeur just isn't going to stand for any foolishness. So, Shedeur, you keep doing your thing. You got the support behind you, man. But this is just foolishness going on. And we have the daily tracker, the quarterback tracker from the entire training camp. Read that off. You don't have to read it off. We'll read just the percentages off. Shedeur Sanders is the only one throughout the entire training camp. He is the only one to complete 70% of his passes.
6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns. They can't say
0 interceptions.
University of Colorado, and like Cam Moore said, you throw a bunch of quick passes and screen passes and so on and so forth. You're at the Cleveland Browns without his daddy coaching him, and he's 70% like he always has been.
With the most touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
The most touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Man, they can't hold him back. Cream of the crop will always rise to the top, man. This Friday, hey, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to have me drink me some red wine. I might have a little Casamigo and something like that. But we're going to be vibing, man. We're going to be vibing. But what's next, man? Lamar Jackson, man. Lamar Jackson. Is Lamar Jackson the best all-around quarterback talent to ever play the position in the history of the NFL? Y'all let me know in the chat. Y'all talk to me in the chat. Y'all know we talk about
ever. That's a big word. Ever is a big word.
Big statement. That's a huge statement. Maybe I'm getting the quote wrong. Maybe I'm misspeaking how he said it, but we'll get to it. We're going to get to it. Is Lamar Jackson the best all-around athlete at quarterback, all-around quarterback, whatever the word Stephen A. Smith used? Like I said, Stephen A. Smith seems to think so, man. That's a big statement to make, man. And after so much history in the sport of football, Lamar Jackson is the most talented at the position.
Jeez.
But I think, man, Stephen A., man, he is using facts to support his statement. So that's the part I like about it. But where does Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen fit into the equation? Is his theory based on 1 year? Is his theory based off of 1 year? Because Lamar Jackson just had a career year. I mean, the year he just had was totally phenomenal, right? So is Stephen A. Smith basing his theory off 1 year? Lamar Jackson has definitely evolved into a one-of-a-kind quarterback. He is definitely a one-of-a-kind quarterback. There's no doubt about that. Lamar Jackson can throw with the best of them, and he definitely runs as if he's the second running back on the team. He is definitely the GOAT. He is him. But here is Stephen A. Smith with a little clickbait. And I'm not going to play the whole clip. It's about 2 minutes, but let's get into it.
Specifically as a thrower of the football, I do not think I was talking specifically as a thrower of the football. I do not think he's the best. But to answer this question, the most talented quarterback in the National Football League, considering all the components that come with playing the quarterback position, there is no question that there has never been a talent, an all-around talent at the quarterback position that equals Lamar Jackson.
We're going to stop that right there. There has never been an all-around talent that equals Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position. That is a huge statement. What do you guys think? What do you think, Dries? Y'all let me know in the chat. Is Lamar Jackson the best all-around talent to ever play the position at quarterback? You have Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick, you got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. You have so many people. But this is the exact reason I will always stand on quarterbacks are measured or should be measured by winning Super Bowls. As far as talent goes, Lamar Jackson is different. But Stephen A. Smith is basing his opinion off Lamar Jackson's best year. And I didn't play the full clip, but he read off the stats. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he's saying that's what makes him the most talented. It's a good debate for sure. It's a good debate, but it's like
hard to say, man.
Hard just to hand over the keys to the 1975 Chevelle just like that. Like, okay, yes, we recognize your greatness. We recognize, yes, you are like that. But to give you the keys, I might need to see a little bit more. And a Super Bowl to go along with that greatness will definitely help nudge the needle a little bit. You know what I mean? But there will always be quarterbacks that pass through the NFL that are talented and stats are top tier. That's why it's important for quarterbacks to win Super Bowls. That Lamar Jackson won't be the first. He won't be the last. Michael Vick won't be the first. He won't be the last. There's going to be so many more talented quarterbacks that comes through the NFL with so much great talent and production, and the stats are going to continue to get broken more and more. And we have to face the facts. This is the 17-game era. They don't play 16 games anymore. So we always have to put.
So who would you put there then? If you don't agree with Lamar, who would you put there?
That's why I'm a little confused. It's like he might be onto something right there. But I'm just like, Josh Allen, I don't know. Yes, he's a better runner than Josh Allen, but they're two different type of runners. Josh Allen is a creator. Josh Allen, he does everything pretty much by himself. He leads the team by himself. You can make the same argument for Lamar Jackson, but what Josh Allen does, I see it as doing so much more for his team than what Lamar Jackson does. Yes, Lamar Jackson runs the ball. Yes, he runs the offense. And yes, he throws the ball well. He throws the ball just like how we were speaking about Shedeur, 72%, 70% completion rate. But to me, he has a better team than Josh Allen. They're more of a run-focused team, which leans to Lamar Jackson talents more than Josh Allen. But overall, I don't know, man. It'd be hard. If you had to draft both players with the number one pick, I think the majority of the people would select Josh Allen, right? And then you got Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, where is he at is the most talented quarterback of all time? He has to be up there somewhere. Well, here's the better question, right? Before Stephen A. Smith made this statement about Lamar Jackson being the best all-around quarterback in the history or to ever play the game, who was the best all-around quarterback before Lamar? Right?
To me, Michael Vick.
Would y'all say Michael Vick?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people go and like discredit Michael Vick because he ain't win no MVP, he ain't win no Super Bowl. So it's like I think they forget like the things he done on that field, man. Especially when he got with Andy Reid. Andy Reid made him a way better passer, as he admitted himself. Like before, he wasn't like into passing for real. He just tried to get the job done any way he could. He actually learned how to throw the ball, where to put it, and all that stuff like that. And you see, he lost that MVP race to Tom Brady, the GOAT. Yeah. but it came close.
Think what Stephen A. Smith is saying, like, when you're reading off Lamar Jackson stats, he's throwing 70%. He passed for like almost 4,000 yards. He rushed for 1,000+ yards or close to 1,000. So to compare to those stats of what because when Lamar Jackson first came into the NFL, the knock on Lamar was he is not that good of a passer. He can't be a pocket passer, and now he's overcame that and showed the world, the NFL world, that he can be a pocket passer and he can throw with the best of them. You know what I mean?
He can't throw outside the numbers, so he could throw it down the middle to tight ends,
and things like that off play action, and he's proved everybody wrong. So with that being said, if he can pass with the best of them and he's the best runner, what does that put him at? You know what I mean? We have to take into account, though. We have to take into account that the game is more advanced than in the past, when the Randall Cunningham and things like that, because that was one of my favorites. Y'all know I was a quarterback, But that has to be a part of the equation. I'm talking about the history of the game. You got the Michael Vicks, like I said, the Randall Cunninghams, got the Josh Allens, you got the Patrick Mahomes, you got the there's more, there's more. And then Charlie Ward, I was trying to think of the name. My boy Charlie Ward, man, Florida State didn't play in the NFL. He was one of the first dual threat quarterbacks, Heisman Trophy winner in college. I wished he would have played in NFL. He would have been a joy to watch, man. Shout out to Charlie Ward, man. Shout out to Charlie Ward. But yeah, is Lamar Jackson. Oh, Doug Flutie. I see the comments. Yeah, Doug Flutie is definitely. When Doug Flutie came into the NFL first as a runner, he was super fast. Kind of reminds me of Kyler Murray. Yeah, Doug Flutie doesn't get enough credit. Obviously, he went to the CFL first, had to spend a lot of time over there. So maybe his greatness gets diminished a little bit because he didn't do it all in the NFL, all in NFL. But that's a good point right there. That's a good one right there. Doug Flutie. Thursday Night Vibes. How we doing, chat? How we doing out there? How we doing, man? Hey, Thursday Night Vibes, baby. I'm happy to be here, man. Like I say, man, I hope y'all enjoying the progress, and I hope y'all enjoying the journey, man. We got everything coming up. The football season right around the corner, and it's time to have some fun, baby. It's time to have some fun.
This is the last week without football until February.
Last week without football, and y'all expect to see us on here rapidly, baby. Giving it to y'all the way y'all like. Toast up. We was in sync. You see that? We're gonna get the same cups when we get that sponsor. You know what I mean? Y'all coming through. Hey, but man, Shannon Sharpe, man. Y'all know I have to get into the clip of Shannon Sharpe, and we have to talk about this because I feel like we have been deceived about Shannon Sharpe and his team. And what am I talking about? Can anybody guess what I'm talking about when I say we have been deceived by Shannon Sharpe and his team? Can y'all talk to me in the chat? Y'all know I talk that crap, and y'all need to talk that crap back to me because I like to have fun. But yes, how have we been deceived? Let's talk about it. Shannon Sharpe reportedly expected to sign a $100 million podcast contract, has multiple offers. Has multiple offers. Y'all know one thing I always tell y'all, don't say what needs to be said. My motto is, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. You see? I believe this was meant to be a distraction, right? But let's get into it. Let's finish reading the whole thing. Let's finish reading it out. It says, Shannon Sharpe expected to sign a podcast deal worth more than $100 million after receiving multiple offers for his next contract. Ryan, Michael McCarthy reported from Front Office Sports. The deal will include the Club Shay Shay podcast alongside with shows hosted by Shay Shay Media Network. Those include Jeff Teague's Club 520 podcast and The Nightcap with Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco Johnson, as well as the Bubba Dub Show and the official team podcast of the Atlanta Falcons. News comes amid the pending expiration of Sharpe's deal with the Volume, the media company founded by Colin Cowherd, according to McCarthy and the Glass Guy. Do we believe this to be true? Because I think it was meant to be a distraction. Yeah, that's right. We were deceived. What? I believe this was meant to be a distraction. Think about it, right? And Ocho and all their promo alliances came out of nowhere, acting like Shannon Sharpe was about to sign this big old deal. It just blurted out of nowhere on Twitter, social media, everywhere. Mm-hmm. Just to find out he was dealing with some heinous allegations, right? So right before the heinous allegations come out, boom, a big media push comes out, marketing campaign about $100 million contract that Club Shay Shay and Shay Shay Media is about to sign. And then, boom, we find out about all the allegations and so on and so forth. Then everything disappears about this big old deal. We don't hear anything else about the alleged $100 million deal, right? So why is that? We never even heard who was supposed to give them the $100 million deal. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible. It's definitely possible. It definitely is possible with all the assets like we just talked about that come along with Shay Media. You know what I mean? They have the Bubba Dub show, the Jeff Teague's 520, and so on and so forth. They have a lot of assets attached to the company. So it's definitely worth the check. But something smells fishy. And I could see this concept was designed to try to make companies bite on giving Shannon Sharpe a bigger deal. You know, maybe there was a 30.
That's what you think it was?
Yeah, maybe there was like a $30 or $40 million deal on the table. And that was his bluff to get them to bite on a $100 million deal. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you got that $30 million, $40 million off. You got $30 million and $40 million offers left and right. And then you say, no, that's not good enough. So let's go out here and act like as if we have bigger deals on the table. And let's see if we can attract some different companies to give us a bigger offer. At the end of the day, that's a lot of money to be giving up for a podcast deal.
Man,
that's why I'm saying it has to be capped. You feel me?
Nah, I don't know. At first, I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was like because it came out right before the whole lawsuit came out. So I thought it was like a part of they play. Like she only sued because she heard I got the $100 million. So I could kind of believe that. But now I see like all the assets attached to it. Like it's gonna be for Jeff Teague's show, the Bubba Dub show, and all the other under Club Shay Shay Media. I feel like there's more, so it could have been there. It was probably was on the table, but then it probably like fell off the table because the whole situation. But I ain't gonna lie, a few months ago when all that stuff first came up, I thought it was because they was trying to like blame the girl, like she only coming at him because of the huge money she know that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a money grab. You always have to look at it being a money grab and things like that. But when you see the recent woman coming forward, this is not a money grab. But shout out to Dirty Truck, man. Y'all support Dirty Truck. Shout out to Dirty Truck for the super chat. Man, we appreciate you over here. We appreciate you over here. Make sure y'all check out Dirty Truck, man. If you need any local transportation, or nationwide. I'm sorry, he's nationwide. Shout out to Dirty Truck. But do y'all think this deal was a real deal, or was it fabricated a little bit to make us believe otherwise, or to get companies to stroke that fat check? Because
it was
like
real.
I said,
it was real. It was real.
You think it was real?
It's real. At first I didn't, but now I believe it was real.
Nah, it's still hard for me to believe. It was just the timing of everything. It was like I say, if you understand that you have all these allegations coming out about you, right? And they're coming out left and right, and you know what's exactly about to hit. What are you going to do to try to combat all these allegations to stop the narrative from being what it's going to be? What do you do? You come out with something and you make a big push, and he knew that was about to come out. So let me make this be a distraction, because everyone's going to start talking about these heinous allegations. So I'm going to put out some positive news that is like overwhelming and just super big to everyone's ears and eyes, and $100 million. But them allegations was too big to for people to ignore, man. The allegations was too big to ignore. But when it rains, it pours, man. When it rains, it pours. And I know y'all heard it. It's been everywhere. Now, old Shannon Sharpe got old Ocho in some mess. Chad Johnson. Shannon Sharpe got Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, caught up in some mess. But in all actuality, man, it seems like they're under attack. You know,
of course, man.
Shannon Sharpe may be under attack, but these claims are legit and they're backing them up. The people that are putting these claims out, but at the same time, you can still be under attack and the claims still be legit. But it seems like just because Ocho Cinco is in the company of Shannon Sharpe, he is being caught up in some craziness. You know what I mean? And if y'all ain't heard, they're being sued for allegedly spreading false rumors about a woman being married and the husband divorcing her. Shannon Sharpe made a costly mistake, mainly because of Shannon Sharpe's superior complex. I'm the one that brought that to y'all here first. And y'all, if y'all can read between the lines, you can understand and see that Shannon Sharpe has a superior complex. He may be bringing it down a little bit, but all these situations they are in are because mainly of that superior complex. But how can a guy, now this is very important right here, how can a guy like Shannon Sharpe, who's been in media, I'm guessing for over 20 years, fall for a meme on social media and not fact check and let that come back to hunt him? Wow. Can a guy like Shannon Sharpe and his team that's been doing this, been in this media space forever, you know, he has too much experience to make a mistake like that. Now he got Ocho all up in the mess, and Ocho wasn't even really doing anything besides responding to Shannon Sharpe bringing the topic up.
Man, like, I didn't think that's a girl trying to chase money, man. I don't think that's on him or Ocho, man. That they just making a comment off a video.
Did you hear her on these interviews and speak about, you know, she's a single woman. Her daughter's got a doctorate and something like that as a teenager in college and things like that. She promotes herself as a single woman, and to say she's married, it kind of kills
her whole thing.
Yeah, like her marketing, everybody, all the men is questioning her. Like, you know, I thought you were single. You saying they said you were married, and all of a sudden we're not as attracted to what you got going on no more. So that definitely can. It's just a coincidence that all timed up to be like that. Because that is just like, wow, man. It's like, dang. You could say someone isn't married and they're not married and not be no big issue, but when you promote your whole business and livelihood around you not being married and being a single woman, that's a big deal, you know.
Yeah, ain't take 20 million out of her pocket. I know that.
You know, I think that's a little steep to be asking for $20 million. That's where the money grab and the situation is a little over the top. But I can see it maybe not even selling for millions of dollars. You know what I mean? That's just I'm not an attorney opinion. You know what I mean? I'm not an attorney. I just got a little wiggle. You know what I mean? But do y'all think Ocho may start to think twice about doing business with Shannon Sharpe? All of Shannon Sharpe mess seems like it's bad for business. You know what I mean? Shannon Sharpe has a big audience, but without Ocho, it would be hard for Shannon to be great against, specifically on the nightcap. On Club Shay Shay, man, that may be a little different, a different story. But even Club Shay Shay is taking a hit, and I mean a big hit. And dang, man, it's going bad, man. It's going bad. But you know, I'm an underdog type of guy, so I'm rooting for Shannon. I want to see him fight and come up out of this and show the world that when you're going through things, you can still be resilient. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, Shannon Sharpe is starting over financially, basically. He's basically starting over. He has to rebuild his wealth, his net worth back to what it used to be.
That's a lot of money, man.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money to
he's
lose.
Worked for and worked hard for the past 20 years, he has to start over and build it back up, you know.
He was joking with Ocho. You talk about you pay me my money that you owe me. He said my pocket's tight right now.
5,200. He done turned that 5,200 into 5,900, man. But at the end of the day, man, this is just beyond sad. And Shannon Sharpe is now jobless, man. He don't. ESPN allegedly parted ways with him as well. And Shannon Sharpe got an apology video. We're not gonna play the whole thing, but we'll play a little bit of it.
Obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so, as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace.
Okay. He made most of the apology about his brother, and he's sorry about, messing it up. I didn't see how it was a distraction about his brother, but I guess he felt that his name being brought up when his brother's name being brought up was the biggest issue. But the issue for me, and the thing about it for me, that this isn't a mistake. This isn't a mistake. You're not sorry because this isn't a mistake. This is repeated pattern of behavior that needs help. This is a repeated pattern of behavior. Allegedly, Shannon Sharpe has a history of these acting, a little weird or whatever, Mm-hmm. Shannon Sharpe pretty much lost every job he had in the media because of his behavior and having that superior complex at these places. Allegedly, you know what I mean? Allegedly. I mean, he's worked with the Skips. He's worked at so many different places, and he has baggage leaving these places. His energy and confidence is totally different now when he speaks on the nightcap. He can't come up there like he usually likes to and used to, and just talk about everybody and trash and talk down on everybody like he's the big dog. You know what I mean? Now you got to come down here and say what needs to be said. You know what I mean? Because hey, because we on the way to the top. Shannon knows he can't even think about talking about anyone crazy like he loves to do, man. And I just feel sorry for Ocho, man. Ocho really had a good thing going, and he still does. But that momentum they had on the nightcap was on fire.
Yeah, he definitely worked for almost all the networks. He worked for CBS, he worked for NFL Network, he worked for FS1. I think ESPN was the last one. So yeah. I don't know where he go for there with Network TV.
I didn't want to mess up the names, but yes, pretty much all these places allegedly he lost his job from the same pattern of behavior. The FS1, the CBS, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. When you have a pattern of behavior like that, you have to drop your ego and go get you some help. But when you're 56, 57, sometimes, man, you think you know it all, and you ain't got nobody to listen to, and you got all the answers. So you're just stuck in your ways. Don't never be stuck in your ways. Always be willing to learn, because you can always grow and become better. You know what I mean? You're always going to be better. But at the end of the day, I'm sure this was old idea to come up with such a terrible idea like he did and completely embarrass the nightcap in himself by promoting a $100 million deal, because I think it was a distraction. Like I said, it was nothing but a distraction. Like I said, maybe Shannon Sharpe had a $30 to $40 million deal on the table, and he thought acting like this,
add some juice to that thing.
We'll add some juice to another company about to break him off. Maybe give him 60 or 70. But in my opinion, that was just bad. That was bad. That was a bad marketing idea, bad marketing strategy right there. That was just bad. It turned out to be a funny campaign, embarrassing, At the end of the day, that was a panic move. Shannon Sharpe and his team panicked and came up with that campaign because they seen everything crumbling before their eyes. So they had to try to do some type of damage control, and that was the best they could come up with in that short period amount of time, But Shannon Sharpe comes off as a control freak, and I don't know if everybody understands about people that love control or want to be in control. There is no reason for another human being to want to control another human being. People that are in love with control are some dangerous people. You know, you better watch out for people you deal with that are in love with control. If you're dealing with someone, a friend, family member, or something like that, y'all close, and you see they are in love with control, they must be in control. Watch out for that person. There is no reason to want to be in control of another human being. That is some dangerous mess. You know what I mean? And having authority over someone is different than control, right? Like schools, institutions, your boss, things like that, right? I don't see a reason to want to control another person besides having authority in those special circumstances. You know what I mean? But like I say, beware of those type of individuals. Not just talking about any specific individual. I'm just talking about overall people who are in love with control. They are some dangerous people, you know? Like Shannon Sharpe, man. Shannon Sharpe got everybody out here making a mockery out of him, but man, if a man don't work, a man don't eat, man. So business must continue for Shannon Sharpe, man.
For sure.
Like I said, he didn't make a statement in so long, but that pressure was so bad for Shannon Sharpe, it forced him to make a statement. Shannon was about to address, he wasn't about to address any of these issues, and that's what I believe. That pressure made Shannon sing to the choir, and the man lost his job, lost his fortune, and now he's lonely because I bet Shannon Sharpe don't have any more hookups left in his black book. I
think ESPN was the last one.
You know, he ain't got. No, I mean it like
the black. I heard you say the black book. Okay, the black book.
He ain't got no more hookups in the black book. Like you said, maybe people that worked around the place. You know what I mean? Yeah. But this is gonna go down as one of the most embarrassing transfers of wealth that we have ever witnessed right here before our eyes, man. But at the end of the day, Shannon Sharpe, I believe in you, brother. I just have to do what I do. I'm just, you crossed the line. You didn't want to give him a credit. So I got to cover the story and give my take on it. But I believe in you. I know you're resilient. I know you work hard. You know how to grind, but just tone it down. That complex a little bit, brother. Just turn it. Knock it down a little bit for me, brother. And you'll be all right, man. I'm sure the people around you appreciate you more. I know they appreciate you now, but I'm telling you, they appreciate you a little bit more. You know what I mean? Shout out to Shannon Sharpe. You are entertaining, brother. Hey, but the last topic of the night, and we have to get in this, man. We're gonna talk about the trade of the situation. And they was actually talking about this young man, this man, Terry McLaurin, being traded to the Miami Dolphins, swapping out Tyreek Hill. And no. We are not sending Tyreek Hill to Washington Commanders and mess up Jaden Daniels' career. No, we are not sending him up there and making him a cancer that
team. You gonna make a mess up he gonna mess up Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, he's too young, bro. He's going into his second year. He's a sophomore. He's impressionable. He's vulnerable. Tyreek Hill will come in there and put that veteran, all that ego-ness, and just make him just think he has to throw him the ball every play. We ain't dealing with that. We ain't messing up Jaden Daniels. That is legend in the making, you know what I mean? So Terry McLaurin wants out of Washington. Or does he really want to be out of Washington? Does he want to be an Eagle? Does he want to be a Cowboy? Because I don't think he does, man. I don't really think he wants to be out. Nobody wants to be out of, the team they're birthed to, In Washington, he gets to play with the young Jaden Daniels, like we're talking about, who's coming off an awesome rookie campaign. Why would you want to leave
the quarterback?
Right. Why would you want to leave, or any wide receiver want to leave a situation like that? Right. The sky's the limit for Jaden Daniels. He knows who would trade for Terry McLaurin if he was to get traded. So there are so many unanswered questions to be traded when you just ask them to be traded. That's how you know you don't really want to be traded. It's just a last ditch effort to try to get something done. You can ask for a trade and you can end up in Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones and whoever else the hell you got. And then your career is just going to automatically go to shit. You may have a couple more dollars, but your career is going to go to shit. And I'm sure you don't want something like that to happen. You know what I mean? Playing your entire career on the team that draft you is always the goal. You see? That's always the goal. he can leave Jaden Daniels and it will go bad for the Washington Commanders because who they have left? Deebo Samuels and I forget the other guy name. So it's important that Jaden Daniels make sure Terry McLaurin stays there because I would hate to see Jaden Daniels having to depend on Deebo Samuel as the number one target, brother.
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised that they even hesitating with paying him, man. They got the money, just pay him. I don't understand I don't understand what's taking them so long. Just give my man the money. Y'all, I know y'all want him, so just keep him there. But definitely, I heard Patriots name come up in that trade too.
Right. Yeah. So here it is, man. Terry McLaurin ends Commanders holdout after losing $800K. Woo! After losing $800K. Terry McLaurin, wide receiver for the Washington Commanders, reported to training camp after forfeiting over $800K during his holdout for a new contract. At 30 years old, he is in the final season of a 3-year, $68 million deal and has already incurred $200,000 in fines for missing training camp and incurred losses from a $500,000 workout bonus. McLaurin currently sits on the physically unable to perform list due to ankle injury, yet remains a crucial player, having scored 13 touchdowns and racked up 1,096 receiving yards last season, despite being underpaid compared to his peers, following so on and so forth. All right, Terry McLaurin, man. He don't want out. Nothing I've seen or heard about Terry not wanting to play for the Washington Commanders, man. Not too many teams are thrilled to pay players that are not quarterbacks who are knocking on the door at the age of 30. And Terry McLaurin, man, turns 30 in September. That's a big issue for teams to say, all right, here goes another 3-year, $68 million contract that we are obligated to give you for 3 years because it's guaranteed and you're the age of 30. That is a very tough pill to swallow. When you're 30 years old in the NFL, it's an unwritten rule about players, not being able to perform at the same level as once before in the past. So that's like an unwritten rule as a business model that these owners and NFL has. Players turn 30, no, that value is not the same. We're going to expect our value to be the same. We think we're still worth top dollar, but they look at things totally different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the Commanders were fining the shit out of Terry McLaurin, like you heard, up to $200,000. And camp was just starting. So you see him report early. I've been in those situations. He realized those fines are for real. You don't understand and think they're for real. You just so much money going left and right. But someone in your camp is going to Spain, and you're up to $100,000 in fines. They're going to take this out of your check, X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And he said he heard he was up to $200,000. Guess what he did, Dries? He did the Shannon Sharpe.
I'm on my way.
Nope. He probably told his representatives or his camp. He said, "Man, I'm through with this junk, man." Because it's usually the representatives who recommend players to hold out. We don't understand holding out or what we're holding out for and so on and so forth. It's usually the manager, the representatives, and things like that to persuade us, to motivate us to hold out. You have to understand, doing the same routine every year when that time comes, give us a purpose. Playing football, that same routine, that purpose is something we love to do, and to ask us to volunteer to stop doing what we love to do feels uncomfortable. Our agent asking us not to go to practice, hold out from something you love to do. That feels uncomfortable. It's weird. You feel out of place. You know what I mean? You're at home, if you're watching on TV, everybody in camp. And most of all, it's expensive. So players that hold out usually don't hold out that long. You usually don't last that long, because it can end up being detrimental to players' careers. Like Hassan Reddick, the ex-Eagle. He held out to the last day you can hold out to, so you still can be a free agent to follow the season. And that was career suicide to him. Straight career suicide, right? That was
We
straight
missed
career
like
suicide, man.
like 5 games, something like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just like his career just went from sugar to shit, just like that. He was, do big contracts. He was known as a prominent defensive end in the NFL, and it's just like, these problems. I don't know if it's the head problems, too much banging. We just start losing it. And
Le'Veon Bell, the whole season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
he ain't never come back the same. He was the best running back at the time.
Exactly.
At least top 3.
His ego and mindset just kicked him right out of the NFL because we get beside ourselves. We don't understand the business. We just think the name, likely image, and things like that, and our production is what it's all about. There's a system. There's a market. There's a cap. Every situation is a market when it comes to money. And these owners and general managers aren't stupid. They dare players to hold out so they can find the mess out of players, and get them players to play for pennies on the dollar in the football market world, not in the real world. They'll be playing for pennies on the dollar in the football world, So these owners, they dare us players 30 years old and 30 plus old, to hold out. They dare us. They can't wait to find us, And when we see players like Michael Parsons and Trent Henderson's up there, I mess
Trey Henderson, yeah.
Trey Henderson up there in Cincinnati, nursing injuries in camp. That is the new way of holding out and telling the team, screw off. I ain't showing up. I'm not participating the way you want me to participate. That is the new way of holding out and letting the team know that they won't be getting your services. So when you see a healthy player that is not participating, he has a problem, issue with his money because he can't just hold out the traditional way because that's going to add up to $200,000 real quick like Terry McLaurin. So you got to figure out how to maneuver to get your point across. And this is the only way to force team hand to paying up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. People I played for, like Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, they'll give you the ass kick, man. They don't give a damn about shit, baby. So, hey, you know what I mean? I hope y'all had fun tonight. What time that game come on Friday night? Is it 8 o'clock or is it 6 o'clock? I can't wait. It's going. What quarter y'all think Shedeur Sanders is going to get in?
Man, halftime. After halftime.
I'm hoping for the second quarter. I'm going to say second quarter, maybe end of the first. Joe Flacco is not playing. Kenny Pickett is very limited. So I expect Dylan Gabriel to get a lot of reps at first. And, of course, that's going to look a little boo-boo. And then Shedeur coming right after that. Then Huntley takes over the game after that. That's my prediction. Say what needs to be said. If your boy, I'm pretty much 90% right. I'm always like 90% right.
That's an A. That's an A. If you put on the grade, that's an A.
Yeah. But say what needs to be said. It's your host, Asante, Mr. Pick 6 Sammy, and my co-host 23 Drees, and we out. Stay on. I'm talk to you after.